Hello, hello, Ben here, Gravel Throat Reviews. Gonna come at you today with another 12 brand new singles that I checked out. Yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so number one was Strange Universe by Nonfiction, Ill Bill, Gore-Tex. This is the Cesar Keys remix. Yeah, this is a straight to the point hardcore hip hop track with some of my favorite artists from the golden era of boom bap. Ill Bill, MF Doom, Gore-Tex, all legends. Rest in peace, MF Doom. Yeah, the beat has a little sample and some repetitive horns. The old school sounding bass line is a nice touch as well. All the verses are pretty solid. It has a pretty nostalgic quality to it as well. It's an 8 out of 10 for me. Like that track quite a bit. Number two is Forever featuring Hugel, Diplo, Medusa, and Malou. This is a nice piece of trance pop. I love the mix on this track. It's solid, interesting, and clean. It has some elements of minimalist techno and some ambient features as well. The kick drums are punchy, but not too wide as to take over the mix like in some trance tracks. Yeah, this is a solid dance track. I like it quite a bit. The mix is fantastic on this track. That is Forever featuring Hugel, Diplo, Medusa, and Malou, and it is a 7.5 out of 10 for me. All right, and number three is Silver Pin by Gleamer. Yeah, this track starts with a little guitar arpeggio and some distant snare. The vocals are a bit melodramatic and thin, kind of like a Snow Patrol vibe, but not quite as dynamic in my opinion. There's a little buzzing synth in the second verse that fills out the mix pretty nicely. There's a bit of a rising energy towards the end, and the bridge is pretty decent. But other than that, it's kind of a boring track. Nothing really stands out vocally or in terms of the ideas that's being brought forth. Yeah, that's Silver Pin by Gleamer. That's a 4 out of 10 for me. Number four is Murder Gardens by Play That Boy Zay featuring Denzel Curry. Yeah, this comes in with a really sinister drill beat and some early 90s feel to it. There's an eerie little synth going on in the background. The flows are decent, but like nothing new or innovative. The second verse is kind of slower with a weird inflection that's slightly catchy. Yeah, Denzel is the best on this track, in my opinion, which is probably what you thought as well when you heard the title. But it's an okay track. I mean, it's a 4 out of 10, nothing too special. Moving on, at number five is Anywhere But Dancing by Lauren Mayberry. This is a delicate little acoustic ballad by the queen of synth pop, in my opinion, Lauren Mayberry of the legendary trio Churches. Their 2021 album, Screen Violence, was my favorite album of that year. Been a fan of these guys for a long time. The instrumentation on this track is stripped back and really raw and lo-fi. There's just kind of like some acoustic guitars going. Lauren's vocals are pretty and melancholy. I love the chorus. I love the lyrics. This is a great track. I'm a little bit biased because I already love Churches. But yeah, this is a cool track by Lauren Mayberry solo. Yeah, it's a 7 out of 10 for me. That's Anywhere But Dancing by Lauren Mayberry. Next track is number six, Always by Computer Kill. This one starts with like a synthwave 4 in the floor beat, with some slightly cliche sequencing where the verse is like a low talking voice and the chorus is slightly higher with more melody. This is like a very, very common dynamic for this genre. It's kind of getting played out. I've seen a video recently of those making fun of that, so pretty funny. But I like the synth atmosphere and all the little effects near the end. The climax of this track is great. It's a fairly decent post-punk synthwave track. I give it a 6.5 out of 10, and that is Always by Computer Kill. Moving on to number seven is You by Black Mass. This song begins with some rising synth washes and a synth arpeggio. Some uplifting keys come in and brings up the emotion. The lead is sparkling and triumphant. The impact snares that follow increase the energy level until you reach like a shining peak of emotion. The vocal chops dominate the midsection with some reverbed bells. I love the progression of this track. It's so hopeful, so pleasant. The glitchy bridge offers a slight change of pace as well. The end of this song has some very unexpected harsh vocals that rip through the mix and add dynamics. I don't feel like they fit in super well, but I do like what they're going for when they drop that harsh vocal at the very end. Yeah, overall, this track kicks ass. It's really, really good. I love the instrumentation. I'll give it a 8.5 out of 10, and that is You by Black Mass. Coming in at number 8 is X Videos by Artemis. Yeah, this is a very catchy piece of TikTok core that has some haunting atmosphere and some mid-paced rhythms. Yeah, the verse is really nice. It's about being addicted to the cameras and like chasing the clout, which is typically don't like this kind of subject matter, but for some reason I really dig this track. It's a banger, even though it's very short. It's only like 1.58 minutes, but it is a 6 out of 10 for me, and that is X Videos by Artemis at number 8, and at number 9 is Pale Blue Dot by Lou Ballin. This is a nice piece of indie alt rock. He talks about being homesick from staring at the stars, implying that like he doesn't really want to be on this planet anymore. The guitars are nice. They kind of reminds me of like Weezer a little bit, but yeah, it's fairly cliche, but also a pretty decent track. I think it's okay. It's a 5 out of 10 for me, and that is Pale Blue Dot by Lou Ballin. And number 10 is Colorblind by Tom Misch featuring Loyal Carner. This is a mellow little jazz track with some great groove. There is a slightly Jamiroquai sounding vibe. But the real magic is the amazing verse by Loyal Carner. His voice is incredibly smooth and captivating. He provides like the perfect amount of butter to give this track a nice heartbeat. Other than that, I think the vocals are okay, but I think the writing style on this, especially with the verse, is pretty damn good. I think this is a decent track. That is Colorblind by Tom Misch featuring Loyal Carner, and I give it a 7.5 out of 10. And number 11 is Generation No Surrender by Under Oath. This is an electrifying piece of metalcore slash kind of post-hardcore. The tones are thick and nicely mixed. The vocals are aggressive and very nicely distorted. I'm not the biggest fan of this genre in general, but this is pretty well done. Like the mix is fantastic. Some of the lyrics are a little bit cliche, but that's kind of par for the course for metalcore and just metal in general. Sometimes they don't have the best lyrics, but the energy is kind of where the emphasis is placed. But that's a decent song. It's Generation No Surrender by Under Oath, and I give it a 6 out of 10. And closing out this list is number 12, is Quiet Pain by Dev Lemons. Yeah, I met Dev when I was working security at Numos in Capitol Hill, Seattle. She was opening for some like indie project downstairs in the small room, and I was like setting up the bar and getting ready for the show, and she came up and we were kind of chatting a little bit. I had no idea who she was, but she put on a fantastic performance. She was very endearing. She was very sweet. She was very professional. Nothing but good things to say about her personality-wise. Yeah, this track is kind of a nice mellow little bop with some reverb shakers and some 90s R&B synth strings. The vocals are delicate, and yeah, it's not her best song, but it's an okay track. Slightly biased because I met her in person and she was fantastic. But yeah, that is Quiet Pain by Dev Lemons, and I give it a 6 out of 10. And that, my friends, is 12 brand new singles reviewed. If you like any of these tracks or you don't like any of these tracks, let me know. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time. This is Ben from Gravel Throat Reviews. I will see you on the next one. Peace.